government is not in good shape right now.
8,500 Rhode Islanders are federal workers. If it's short term, fine, but if it gets into the long term, there's uncertainty.
That's not effective work for the people of our country, for people in Rhode Island that is dependent on so many things from the federal government.
And I'm Jim Hummel. Thanks for joining us on This Lively, joined this week by Bill Bartholomew, host of the Bartholomewtown podcast, attorney and former mayor of Cranston, Allan Fung. For the first time in 7 years, the federal government shut down as Congress failed to reach an agreement to keep it going. What effect will it have here in Rhode Island, as President Trump does not seem to be too upset about it? And that's an understatement. I wonder if there's a larger kind of feeling of what's going on. We've been through these before, but they've been relatively short. Look, we're taping on a Thursday, so who knows? Maybe everybody bumps their head and they come up with an agreement by the time you watch this. I don't think so.
Doesn't seem like it. And I mean, a lot of this comes down to healthcare, right? That seems to be the major issue right now. And we had on WPRO on the Dan York show, Lindsay Lang from Health Source Rhode Island earlier this summer. And it is really interesting. We don't have to get into it right now, but the reality is in Rhode Island, there's going to be people who are going to either lose their health insurance or it's going to become dramatically unaffordable as currently constituted. So there are practical implications here, even though maybe today it's not necessarily something that's on the average person's mind. Come January 1st, it very well could be here in Rhode Island.
Yeah. From a government perspective, this is, in my opinion, government at its worst, because you're not seeing any more of that bipartisan, let's have these honest discussions. Like you said, when we've had it in the past, they work towards some type of common solution to get things done. Even a short continuing resolution, whether it's on health care, continuation of some of those subsidies or not, or whatever deals that can be cut. But you're not seeing that. What you're seeing is more messaging, more politics, because people are worried about, am I going to get primary? Take a look even on the Senate side, where you don't see some of the rancor that's going on more on the House side. And you have both leaders not really having discussions because Chuck Schumer is worried. Maybe if I do something, maybe AOC is going to jump in and erase me. That's not effective work for the people of our country, for the people in Rhode Island that is dependent on so many things from the federal government.
Don't you think there's a lot more gaslighting going on, though? I mean, you hear stuff that on both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats, and it's like, that's just not true. What are they saying?
It's
like the whole, the Democrats want to provide health care for illegal aliens. And that's an easy soundbite, and it resonates with the base, but it's just not true.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate. I think it's a good example of, like you said, Allan, that the government is not in good shape right now. And you know what else isn't in good shape? I think the two major political parties, and you're right that this rift or the wide tent is a problem for Democrats like Schumer, who are looking over their shoulder and saying, well, maybe the AOC AOC-like candidate is going to primary me, or somehow this is going to disrupt my career. But I mean, we're seeing this on the Republican side so much, and it has been wild to follow this on a daily basis and not see any movement from Republicans inside the party that are willing to say, you know what, primary me. What we're seeing right here is irresponsible and wrong. I don't care if this puts me at odds with the president. I'm going to do the right thing for my constituents.
Yeah, and this is what, unfortunately, you're seeing, not just at the national level, it's bleeding down at the local level, too, whether it's at the state house, local politics. You're seeing a lot more of that divisiveness happen, and it's really at a point where that collegiality, whether, it's in fun, calling you a blue dog, red dog, whatever they used to call you, but then you'd be able to go out, have dinner, have a beer, and just kind of...
Those days are gone.
Those days are gone.
I also wonder, 8,500 Rhode Islanders are federal workers. So locally, if it's short term, fine. But if it gets into the long term, then it's the whole, there's uncertainty. And, it seems to be that the administration's feeling is, look, we need to downsize the government. But in my view, I think they've gone about it. He sees the clock ticking. You think 4 years is a long time. And I think President Trump knew in his first, he felt like he had guardrails. I wonder what this means for local Rhode Islanders.
Now, you're right. There are a lot of federal employees. Could some of them have been trimmed down? Sure. Government at all levels, you're always looking for efficiencies, stronger workforce. But, how things are going about right now, I think it's that from the president's standpoint, it's 4 years. You know, they kind of fought me every single way. I'm just going to do it my way.
And he's almost a year into it. I mean, you think about it, January's right around the corner.
Right. So he's just on this warp speed mode to try to get whatever he wants done, regardless of it, and just saying, follow me, I don't care.
Push the envelope, and if the courts overturn me, I'll take 50%, I'll take 30%, I'll take 60%, whatever.
Yeah, that's been the term Steve Bannon has been using is, oh boy, I wish I don't remember. It's the politics of muzzling. In other words, you just you kind of fire off everything you can at once, and then some things will stick, some things will disappear, some things will get overturned in court. But when it comes to, you know, what we're seeing right now with the government shutdown, I mean, it seems like this would be a place where a lot of the coalition that got the president elected is that populist movement or populist energy in the middle of the country, and a lot of the same people who voted for the president are going to see their health care diminished, gone altogether. And you would think that at some level, this would be the one place that there might be some compromise or some transition. And if we're not going to see it there, we're not going to see it anywhere in the next 4 years.
And you know what's disappointing? You're not seeing, remember when John McCain kind of came around and started pulling different Democrats, you know, kind of pulling their own little caucus together to say, this can't continue. We're going to make this happen. Yeah. And, you know, they influence.
This is bigger than a couple people. We need to think about the country.
Correct.
Right.
And this is unfortunately not happening. You're not seeing that. And it's disappointing on both sides of the chamber at all levels, you know, when that is failing, because that's not what government's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about, yes, discourse, about what's the right policy to help Americans, but you're not seeing that leadership step up at that legislative level to try to be a counter and drive some of the important issues that are on everyone's minds across the country.
All right. Allan and Bill, thanks for coming in. It's great to see both of you guys again.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Lively right here on Ocean State Media. Subscribe to us on YouTube and tell us what you think in the comments section below the video.